Hey guys, Mr. Snow here bringing you a beginner's guide to Crow from Yatagarasu Attack on Cataclysm. First, let's go ahead and identify this character. What is it this guy does? If you're familiar with fighting games, when I call this guy a Shoto, you know exactly what I mean. For those of you clueless, a Shoto is a fighting game character with a kit similar to Ryu from Street Fighter. What that means is Crow has a Fireball, a Dragon Punch, a forward-propelling melee attack special moveset. This type of character is the most basic character in a fighting game roster. And that's why we're going to talk about him first. He's not complicated, he's very beginner friendly, but at the same time he's not a weak character and can be used in high level play just fine. So you can pick up Crow as a new player and keep him throughout a hypothetical career. Let's get started with his basic kit. I can't pronounce any of it, so you're going to have to bear with me, folks. His quarter circle forward punch is his Hadouken like Ryu from Street Fighter. His light punch throws the medium speed version, his heavy throws the fast, and if you EX it by hitting both punch buttons after the motion, you get the slow version. Next up we have his Dragon Punch, which is Z motion forward and a punch. The light one goes about the height of a short jump, and the heavy version has the cool blue fire stuff on it, travels higher, and hits harder. Just like the Hadouken, you can EX this attack by pressing both punches and get a Dragon Punch that hits 5 times. His final special is his Dan kick. I mean, just look at it. He does the same flippy kick that Dan does. So, we're calling it Dan kick. Anyway, this is done with the quarter circle back and a kick. This is probably your most important special move. The light version does 1 hit and leaves the opponent in a juggle state. The heavy one does the same, but hits 3 times. That juggle state is what makes this move his best. It's in almost every combo you'd want to run with this character, but we'll get into that later. The EX version doesn't do a juggle state. You won't be using it much. On to his hyper combos. Like every other character in the game, he gets 2. Again, Japanese as hell names, so I'm going to be calling them stuff I can pronounce. Doing quarter circle forward twice and hitting a kick button activates Crow's Shoryu Reppa that he stole from Ken. It's fully invincible and can be used to end combos. His other one he steals from Ryu, which is his Shin Shoryuken. If my frame data is correct, this has a 1 frame startup and is invincible on that frame. What this means it is very fast to come out and you can't stop it immediately. However, miss and kiss your life goodbye. Anyway, this puts the opponent into a juggle state and Crow's most damaging combos stem from this move, but still you probably won't be using it much. Now I want to talk about Crow's best button. This one. Heavy kick. Right there. See it? You better buy this button flowers because you're going to be in a relationship with this button for all that you play Crow. So what's so great about it? Well, everything. Someone jumps in at you, heavy kick, stuffs it. And look at the damage. 6,200 points of damage. That's almost as much damage as a heavy Dragon Punch. And all you did was hit a button instead of fumbling a Z motion. But wait, there's more! People walking in at you, heavy kick them, checks them. I love it as a space tool. Want to start his bread and butter combo? Back crouch heavy kick. There isn't a move you can't special cancel out of his crouch back heavy kick. Want to cross someone up? Jumping heavy kick. It's really his best button. Keep in mind it has 17 recovery frames though, so, you know, don't miss. Now, he has other good buttons as well. His standing light punch is a good poke or even just something to mash out a quick 3-hit combo. It can even work as an anti-air. A sucky one mind you, but it can hit jumping in enemies. Same goes for his crouching light kick. Both moves can go into his Dan kick, so there's another feather in their cap. His crouching heavy punch is an uppercut that can accomplish the same job as his Dragon Punch when people jump in too close to heavy kick. He also has 2 overheads to hit the enemy with, the standard universal one and forward light punch. You can combo his universal overhead into his Dragon Punch, so that's something. His forward heavy kick, oh hey, look at something else that button can do. Moves you forward along with your attack and can be cancelled into his light Dragon Punch. With all that out of the way, let's get into what this guy actually does. Be generic. Pretty much it. And that's not an insult. You play Crow largely how you'd play Ken or Ryu. And again, that's not a bad thing. You have pressure and space control with your fireballs, aerial control with heavy kick, Dragon Punch, and crouching heavy punch. You have strong combos and all the tools you need for any situation in the game. Now, being that there is another Shoto in the game, Ko, the reason you'd pick Crow is for how much stronger he is without meter. Ko does outdamage Crow to be sure, but with Ko, you have to play around your meter. Crow has sustained damage throughout the match and having full meter or no meter at all doesn't matter to this guy. The big downside to him is he's pretty straightforward. He's an honest character lacking any major tricks to pull. Now that isn't to say he has none, but if your enemy is familiar with Crow, chances are they likely won't fall for the few tricks he has. For instance, say you have the enemy in the corner. What you can do here is an EX Hadouken and right after that go for the cross up heavy kick. Or don't cross up. Time the jumping attack where you land in front of the enemy and hit them as they hold forward thinking you were going to land your attack on the other side. If you aren't in the corner, you can land his Shin Shoryuken and jump to catch the enemy with an attack. From there, you'll land before they do and you can dash forward and go for the crouching light kicks. Or, go for an overhead. But yeah, as far as I've seen in the lab, that's pretty much it. See? Honest. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Combos. Now, I have my own methods for justifying combos, ease of entry, and lack of complexity. I would rather land a simple combo for reliable damage that's hard to drop rather than try for a big fancy combo that will do tons of damage but relies on precise timing or other elements and can thus be easily dropped due to lag or nerves. So I'm going to be focusing on simple combos that are hard to drop under even the worst circumstances. First, remember how I mentioned his Dan Kick is his best special? We will be using a lot of it here. Now, as you can see just from the juggle property of the heavy Dan Kick, we can land a Dragon Punch after. Now we're going to build on that. What moves can go into heavy Dan Kick? Well, for starters, our favorite button, the heavy kick, can if you do back crouching heavy kick. So, crouching back heavy kick into heavy Dan Kick into heavy Dragon Punch results in 12,617 damage. That's solid right there. Well, how else can you get into that? You can't just crouch attack all day because they'll just block or parry and you'll get nowhere. His standing light punch can cancel into Dan Kick as well, and you can chain together 2 light punches before you go too far away to go into the Dan Kick. So we do the 2 light punches, heavy Dan Kick, and Dragon Punch, and get 10,739 damage. Again, not bad. Remember, the light Dan Kick also puts the opponent into a juggle state. You see where this is going? So let's do crouching back heavy kick, light Dan Kick, heavy Dan Kick, Dragon Punch. 13,793 damage. Now, you're noticing I'm not telling you to do any EX of these moves. That's because they get weird with the EX thrown in. For instance, you can't combo after an EX Dan Kick. Once you EX Dan Kick, it's pretty much done. EX Uppercut, for whatever reason, also won't catch after the heavy Dan Kick either. So you can't even combo into that with his bread and butter. This is also where I'm going to have to advise caution. You have to time the heavy kick properly after the light one. For that reason, I don't recommend taking this combo online, as a bit of lag will drop the combo and leave you open. Now, Crow does have other combos that are lag and new players safe. They tend to revolve around light punches or kicks into specials of some sort. Like, 2 light punches can cancel into heavy Dragon Punch for some damage. You can also do 2 standing light punches into a crouching light punch, then the heavy Dragon Punch for a little extra. In general, the light attacks can be used to start small damaging combos for newer players or those who don't trust their online connection, but combos going from heavy Dan Kick to heavy Dragon Punch are the most consistently damaging while easy to perform as far as I've discovered. But hey, you're pro, right? Fuck the small change, let's go crazy with some of these combos. Well, to kick things off, let's go back to our B&B Dan Kick combo. Instead of ending with a heavy Dragon Punch, end with noooooope. 13,1116 damage. How about the riskier version? 14,192 damage. But that isn't enough, right? Well, remember how I mentioned we had a hyper combo that gave us a juggle state? Exactly, Shin Shoryuken. Wonder what you can do with that? How about a couple light punches into Shin Shoryuken, then throw the heavy Dan Kick on top? And what do we do after heavy Dan Kicks? Damn straight a Dragon Punch. You get 17,232 damage or 17,040 damage depending on how many of the kicks you land. Whoa, wait a minute. You got how much meter? And you want to spend it all? Well, shit. Let's go to the club and make it rain. 2 light punches into Shin Shoryuken, into heavy Dan Kick, into noooooope. 17,509 damage. Damn, son, that'll close out a game right there, but me personally, I wouldn't spend the meter like that. I hold on to mine for EX Hadouken shenanigans. And if you can do that combo flawlessly each time, go you, but online, I don't recommend it. Lag is a harsh mistress. And that's all for my Snowtorial on Crow from Yatagarasu. He's a solid character, perfect for anyone just picking up the game. He doesn't rely on meter for combos and can instead use it to mix up the enemy and get even more big meterless damage. I'll include a link to the frame data in the description below, and be sure to leave your request for another character from either Yatagarasu or another competitive game you'd like to see me cover.